deep inside the black nebula of Rexus 5, where even light feared to travel. An old Zarel listening post tried to stay hidden. It had no weapons, no engines, it's just eyes and ears. They thought no one would find them. Then the lights flickered, one by one. The operators disappeared from their chairs. No struggle, no sound. Only their boots were left behind, and on the main screen a new message appeared. You watched our people die. Now we watch you vanish. Seconds later, the station exploded into dust. No trace, no warning. The universe. Watch Tan began to understand. Nowhere was safe, and nowhere at all. Main story, the Zarel Empire was falling apart. Not from war. From fear, every admiral, every general, every scientist who helped with the moonstrike was being hunted. It didn't matter how far they ran or how deep they hid. Earth always found them, on Station Sigma V. Admiral Krell changed his name and wore a mask. He hid in the waste systems, living like a rat, but Earth's drones found him in 6 days. He didn't get a trial, didn't even hear a sound, just a flash of light. He was gone. Inside Earth's War Command, General Arya stood with her. Commanders. The star map was now almost fully read. Only 5 left, the officer said, all hiding under fake names. Send in the Shades, she replied. The Shades were Earth's last card silent assassins, enhanced humans who never missed. Once a Shade was deployed, no target ever survived. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Union, chaos grew. One ambassador from the Altari shouted, "We must punish Earth." Another replied, "And what then? Burn our own worlds in return." Others stayed, silent. They had seen Earth's power, and worse its patience. This wasn't rage. This was control. One quiet species, the Tyroni said, "Let them finish, and pray we're never next." On a peaceful moon, a retired Zarel scientist named Dr. Shura tried to live a quiet life. She once built the reactor that powered the moonstrike weapon. Now, she grew flowers. One morning she found her garden destroyed. In the dirt was a human child's toy. No note, no words, just a reminder. We remember. She didn't wait. She turned herself in to Earth's outpost nearby and begged for mercy. Earth accepted her surrender, but she was the only one spared. Across human space, people watched the stars with hard eyes. They still mourned the moon children, still remembered the screams and fire. But now they stood tall. Peace was no longer a dream. Peace had a price, and Earth had chosen to collect it one name at a time, Agent Noor. Still inside the Zarel command, Network sent a final encrypted message. They know they've lost. The last few are planning to run to the old Empire sectors. Shall I continue to feed false escape paths? General Arya replied, yes, we'll wait for them where they feel safest. 2 days later, in the ruined shell of the old Hilari space yard, Earth's trap was ready. Cloaked ships waited. Sniper satellites aimed. Then they arrived. The last 3 war criminals, their ships were damaged, their eyes filled with fear. He made it, one said. He was wrong. Earth's ships uncloaked in perfect silence. Missiles flew like falling stars. They didn't stand a chance. Back at Earth Command, a quiet bell rang. The screen flashed. Red Line Protocol final phase complete. General Arya stepped outside. The sun rose over the Pacific Ocean. For the first time in months, the sky looked peaceful. A soldier approached. All targets gone, ma'am. Good, she said softly. Now we speak. The next day, Earth sent one final message to the galaxy. Simple, clear, heard on every frequency. We did not want war, but we remember what you did. You called us soft, weak, kind. We are still kind. But now you understand what happens when kindness is crossed. In a faraway part of the galaxy, a young alien asked his father, "Is it? True humans were once peaceful." The father nodded. "Yes, and they still are, unless you take something from them," the child whispered. "Will they come here?" The father looked at Earth's red line symbol glowing in the sky. only if we deserve it. And so, the stars fell quiet again. But this time, the silence came not from fear, but respect, because the universe had learned something powerful. There is no place to hide. When Earth decides to remember, high above the holy world of Varnox, priests gathered inside a floating temple made of crystal and light. The Zarel leaders had come here to hide, believing this place was sacred and untouchable. No warships were allowed. No weapons fired here for over 600 years. They prayed. They begged their gods to protect them from Earth's shadow. Then the sky cracked open. A single human ship appeared, the EHS Judgment floating in silence, engines off, weapons cold. It didn't fire. It didn't. The gods did not answer. They had already abandoned them. Main story: the galaxy had seen wars before. Planets had burned and armies had fallen, but never like this. This wasn't just Earth fighting. This was Earth remembering. And when humans remember pain, they never forget. The last of the Zarel War Council had fled to old places, holy planets, neutral shrines, and dead space stations, hoping that Earth would stop. But Earth didn't stop. It waited, watched. It arrived without warning, and each time the result was the same. No speeches. No bombs. Just justice. In the skies above Varnox, the floating temple shook. Inside, High Priest Zoril fell to his knees. He looked up at the silent human ship. Hails, no demands. Then he saw a single drone float down from the ship. It landed at the temple steps and played one sound. A child crying, then silence. The drone exploded, taking nothing with it. It was a message. Even your gods didn't save our children. The Zarel leaders inside the temple wept, not for their sins, because they knew there would be no forgiveness. At Earth's command center, General Arya received the update. Target location identified. Judgment deployed. No resistance. Any casualties? Only their pride. She nodded. That's all they ever had. In a deep corner of the Union, 3 species called an emergency meeting. The room was cold, full of whispers. Earth has not asked for money, land, or power. So what do they want? An old Tyrone answered. They want the galaxy to remember their pain forever. And in every part of space, that message was now burned into memory. Meanwhile, Zarel war poet named Rax published one final piece, secretly broadcast to all colonies. We lit the fire. Earth became the flame. We mocked their silence.
Ow!
We speak their name, only in whispers. He was arrested minutes later, but his message spread faster than the Zarel could erase it. Back on Earth, people did not cheer. They did not dance. They rebuilt. They helped the broken, healed the wounded, honored the dead, and when the names of fallen children were read each night on every screen across Earth, one phrase always followed. We remember, we answer. In space, the final 2 Zarel fugitives, once proud architects of the moon, strike hid inside a black comet near the galactic edge. They had no contact, no food, no allies. One turned to the other and whispered, "Do you think they'll find us?" Soft red light blinked above them. Then a voice came through their own system, calm and cold. Yes, their ship was never found again. Only a small human beacon floated where it once was, playing one message on loop. They crossed our red line. Now, even the stars carry the weight of their crime. The Galactic Union, now silent and broken, voted to remove the Zarel from their seat. No one defended them, not because of fear, but because everyone now understood what the Zarel had truly done. They hadn't just attacked Earth, they had awakened what Earth hides beneath kindness, and that was something no galaxy should ever face again. Later that year, a monument was built on Earth's moon. Single statue of a crying child holding a broken Earth coin. Underneath it, one sentence. Never again, never forgotten. The grand chamber of the Galactic Union sparkled with gold and glass. Alien leaders from dozens of species sat in tall chairs, their faces proud and cold. At the center stood a Zarel ambassador, tall and thin, with green skin and sharp eyes. He laughed as he played a video. It showed Earth's destroyed moon base, children floating, fires burning, Silence. He turned to the others. They weep, they grieve, but they will not fight. Humans talk about honor and peace. In truth, they are weak. The crowd chuckled. At that exact moment, an alert flashed across every screen in the chamber. Zarel command ship destroyed. No survivors. No weapon signatures. Location. Deep inside secure Zarel space, silence filled the room. The ambassador's smile faded. The timing was no accident. Someone was watching. Someone wanted them to see this main plot. While the galaxy laughed, Earth prepared. In silence. But now, the silent attacks had begun to speak. The first to fall was the Zarel admiral who gave the order to strike the moonbase. His cruiser exploded mid-speech. The next day, a research base on planet Kura vanished. No blast, no crash. Just gone. On each destroyed site, one small item was always found. A broken Earth coin. It was not a message. It was a signature. Inside Earth's Deep War Command, General Arrogance stared at the map. Red dots marked destroyed Zarel facilities. One of her commanders spoke. "Ma'am, they're starting to notice," she replied. "Fear is the weapon before war. They might unite against us," he warned. "Let them try," she said coldly. "They still think we'll beg." Elsewhere in space, Team Ghost 9 infiltrated a hidden Zarel moon bunker. No lights, no noise. Their mission: find the scientist who created the weapon that destroyed Earth's moon base. They found him trying to escape. He begged. "I was just following orders." Captain Lian, leader of Ghost 9, didn't blink. So were we. A small, silent shot. Scientist fell. No blood, no echo. Just justice. At the Galactic Union HQ, emergency meetings began. Alien leaders whispered, "It must be Earth." But they haven't claimed anything. Exactly. That's what makes it worse. The Zarel begged for support. The others hesitated. Some remembered what their grandfathers had told them. Never push Earth. If they go quiet, it means they're preparing something worse than war. Back on Earth, news channels remained calm. No celebration. No statements. The president gave only one short message: "We still offer peace to those who wish it. But for those who smiled when our children died, there will be no place in the stars where they can hide." Agent Noor, still undercover, sent another update from Zarel Command. They are panicking. Locking doors, changing codes. Some commanders are fleeing, blame each other. They don't trust even their own. General Arya replied with a single word: "Good." Later that night, a famous Zarel news anchor tried to calm their people. There is no war. Earth is too emotional. They cry and mourn, but they do not act. Suddenly, the studio lights flickered. A hologram played. It was a human girl, no older than 10. Her face was serious, her voice steady. "You killed my brother. He wanted to be a doctor. He never held a weapon. You called it a mistake. Laughed when you did it." She looked directly into the camera. "We begged before. Never again." And then the screen went black. Across the Zarel homeworld, millions saw the same message. The government denied it, but the people knew. Earth had spoken in space. A small Zarel scout ship approached a quiet human vessel. They sent a message: "We do not want war. We ask for peace," Earth replied. "Then speak for the dead. Turn over the ones who gave the attack order, or we will come get them." The Zarel ship went silent. The humans waited only 30 seconds. Then they fired. The galaxy now realized the truth. Humans would no longer beg. They would not send flowers or ask for talks. They would take action. Quiet, fast, and final. Zarel leaders gathered one last time. "We underestimated them," one old general whispered. "No, we remembered only the soft side of Earth. We forgot the side that burned 3 empires, and smiled while doing it." And so the fear began to spread. Not because Earth had declared war, but because they hadn't, and yet the stars were already burning. in the cold darkness of Sector 9. A Zarel military transport ship drifted slowly. The crew was tense. They hadn't slept in 2 days. They had heard the stories about ships disappearing, bases turning to ash, messages from dead children playing on command decks. Commander Vrex sat alone in his control chair. "Humans are ghosts now," he whispered. "And we are there." Haunted. Suddenly, alarms rang. Lights flashed red. Unknown signal approaching. No visual contact. Then, silence. One by one, the crew disappeared from the ship. No gunshots. No struggle. Just ... gone. By the time backup arrived, only one message remained on the screen. "We told you not to cross the line." Main story. The galaxy was shaking. From border colonies to core systems, everyone had the same question. Where will the humans strike next? But Earth said nothing. No speeches. No warnings. Only silence and destruction. In just 2 weeks, 7 Zarel ships were gone. 3 command posts were hit. Secret weapons lab, hidden deep in an asteroid, exploded without a trace. And still, no war had been officially declared. That was the most terrifying part. Inside the Galactic Union, meetings turned to arguments. Alien leaders pointed fingers, shouted over each other. "We need peace. We need to stand against Earth. We caused this by protecting the Zarel." One elder species, the Valari, finally stood and said, "We told you centuries ago. Never push Earth to silence. Their words are soft, but their revenge is loud." On Earth, the people didn't cheer. They prepared. Civilians gave blood, built supplies, and trained. Soldiers were deployed quietly to dark corners of space. Hidden fleets moved without turning on their lights. AI systems calculated every move. Each attack had a reason. "Had a history," one general said. "This is not war. This is a memory with teeth." General Arya, leader of Earth's Red Line forces, stood before a map of the stars. Red marks blinked where revenge had been taken. Yellow marks showed targets still alive. "How many are left?" she asked. 12, her officer replied. "Make it 0. Agent Noor, still deep inside Zarel High Command, sent another. "Urgent message. They are falling apart. Officers are turning against each other. Some are trying to run. Others are destroying evidence. They know the hammer is coming. They just don't know from where." Meanwhile, on a peaceful farming planet named Uni 4, the Zarel family watched the news. Their father, once proud of the moon attack, now looked shaken. His young son asked, "Papa, will the humans come here?" He couldn't answer. He just held the boy close, because even the innocent now feared the shadow of Earth in the far reaches of space. A small mining colony received a strange message. It was audio only. "This is Earth. We are not at war with you. But if you hide those who killed our people, you will not be spared." The colony's leader replied, "We have no soldiers, just mine rock." A second message came. Then, "Prove it. Send us the names." That night, the colony sent full records to Earth. They gave up the traitors. The next morning, they were still standing. Earth had spoken, kept its word. At the Zarel homeworld, panic spread. Shops closed. Families hid. Their leaders wore armor even inside the capital. Trust collapsed. Fear ruled. Some even began to speak against their own government. "You were wrong to attack Earth. They were kind, and we made them monsters." But it was too late. Back at Earth HQ, General Arya stood with her team. "We're halfway through. Should we speed it up?" her commander asked. She nodded. "No more shadows. Make the next one public." The next day, a massive Zarel fleet tried to enter neutral space. They were running. They didn't make it. 20 human warships uncloaked in perfect formation. Earth's flag glowed on each one, red line drawn across a silver star. The lead ship, his vengeance, opened comes. To the Zarel fleet. "You can run from war, but not from what you've done." Then Earth's weapons fired. Precision, power. No mercy. The Zarel fleet was gone in 5 minutes. The galaxy watched in silence. And finally, they understood. This was not war. This was justice. Human style. The stars above Moonbase Echo were quiet. Too quiet. No traffic, no cargo ships, no patrols. Commander Reyna stood near the observation deck staring out at the black space. Something felt wrong in her chest. Not fear-instinct. It was supposed to be a day of peace. The children on the base had just finished a school dance. Parents were taking pictures. Soldiers were relaxing. Earth had signed a new peace treaty with the Galactic Union just 3 weeks ago. Everyone thought the galaxy was safe now, but peace is often the calm before the storm, at exactly 00 hours. The sky outside the base turned red. It wasn't a sunrise. It was a weapon, a silent flash. Then a deep, shaking sound like thunder from far away. Commander Reyna looked up, her eyes widened. A dark ship had uncloaked above them. It was not human. The alien ship released a single glowing sphere. It fell slowly toward the moon base. Some children pointed at it, thinking it was a light show. It wasn't. The sphere exploded before it touched the ground. In 1 second, the entire base turned into ash and fire. Air escaped. Walls melted. People didn't scream. There was no time. Silence took them before sound could. Back on Earth, the Space Traffic Control Tower saw the explosion. Moonbase Echo has gone dark, the operator whispered. Say again, the general asked. No life signs. ... Nothing. The base is gone, sir. Panic spread. Rescue ships were launched. But when they reached the location, all they found were broken pieces of metal, floating bodies, and burned earth. Footage from nearby satellites showed the attack in detail. But the alien ship had no flag, no signal, no identification. Just one symbol burned into its hull, an old war sign used by the Zeral Empire. A species that was supposed to be peaceful now. News spread fast. Billions watched the images on screens, frozen children, their suits torn apart in space, spinning slowly, eyes wide open. No one spoke. Even hardened soldiers looked away. The Galactic Union called it a training accident. But Earth knew better. The president of Earth appeared on all channels. She didn't smile. Her voice was cold. They crossed our line. Not just a treaty line, but a line written in blood. We do not strike first, but we do not forgive this. Protocol Red Line is active. Everyone on Earth went silent. Protocol Red Line had not been used in 200 years. It was created for one reason only: when diplomacy fails, and the galaxy forgets what humanity can do. In a hidden command bunker, deep under the Andes Mountains, General Arya received the code. She didn't speak. She just looked at the hologram of her daughter who had died on the moon base and whispered, "Send the shadows." In orbit, hidden ships activated. On Mars, old war factories came to life. In space, Earth's cloaked fleets began to move towards Zeral territory. But not for open war. Not yet. This would be the beginning of a quiet revenge. Back in Zeral space, the Empire celebrated the attack in secret. Their leaders laughed. "Humans are soft," one of them said. "They cry more than they fight." But they had made a mistake. They didn't know Earth had been watching. Every message, every celebration, every ship movement. Earth didn't strike. Yet. First, it wanted to know everything. A single human spy, hidden in Zeral High Command, sent a message: "They believe we won't fight back. They forgot who we are." Duh. The response came only with 3 words: hold position. Wait. Because Earth had a plan, the people of Earth were in mourning. But not weak. People lit candles, held hands, cried, and then stood up. Soldiers returned to their posts. Scientists reactivated defense programs thought too dangerous for use. One child who had lost her parents on the base recorded a short video. Her voice was soft but clear. "We were kind, still want peace. But if you hurt us, we won't just fight... we'll end you." The video went viral. Even alien species who once mocked humans now stayed silent, because deep in their hearts, they remembered the stories. Stories about how Earth ended 3 empires in 1 century. how Earth was the only species that burned its own sky to win, and how humans always leave one enemy alive to tell the tale. The red line was now behind them, and what came next would shake the stars. The room was silent. Only one red light blinked on the black screen. General Arya stood in front of it. Her face was calm, but her eyes were full of fire. She pressed her hand on the scanner. A voice spoke. Confirm activation of protocol red line. Arya didn't blink. Confirmed. A loud metal sound echoed through the secret bunker deep under the Andes Mountains. Massive doors opened, and old war machines woke up. Giant screens showed maps of enemy space. A quiet war had begun 6 hours earlier, in a council room high. Above Earth, the president looked at the top military leaders and scientists. No one spoke. This is not a normal war, the president said. This is not about land or power. They killed our children. They laughed, and now, we respond. She turned to the science team. Tell me what we have. Dr. Kell, head of Earth's Black Projects, stepped forward. Project Phantom is ready. Cloaked warships. Silent, undetectable, and We've tested the new AI war cores. They think faster than any enemy ship. A general raised an eyebrow. We said those were too dangerous. The president replied, they just made them necessary. Back at the secret war bunker, General Arya looked at her team. We don't strike openly. Not yet. We show them what fear feels like. Quiet attacks, no proof, no mercy. One by one. Earth's best teams were called in. Team Ghost 9, Human Special Forces. Trained in vacuum combat, Ship Wraith 1. Prototype stealth destroyer that could jump between stars without a trace. Agent Noor, an undercover spy inside Zarel High Command. Order was clear: destabilize, confuse, cut their power silently. Don't give them a reason to unite. Make them blame each other. In Zarel space, Admiral Threx was enjoying a feast. The moon attack had made him a hero. He laughed with his generals. The humans cry. They don't fight. Like insects. But he didn't know. A human ship was already watching him. From deep space, Wraith 1 recorded his location. Single drone was launched, silent, invisible. It entered the Admiral's cruiser without setting off any alarm. The drone sat still for 2 hours. Then it played one sound. A child's voice. You killed us. Now we return the favor. And then the ship exploded from inside. No trace, no evidence. Just ashes floating in the cold. On Earth. News channels didn't report it. But deep in Earth's war room, General Arya marked a red X. On the screen, one down. More to follow. Across the galaxy, strange things began to happen. A weapons factory in Zarel space stopped working. No sign of hacking. Their border patrol vanished without sending a signal. High leaders received gifts, broken helmets from Earth, soldiers with blood-stained flags. Fear started spreading, but Earth said nothing. They still blamed each other. One Zarel general shouted in a council, "It must be the Altari. They want war?" Another shouted back, "No, it's the humans. Can't you feel it? It's them." But they had no proof. That was Earth's plan. On Mars, Earth's AI war brains ran simulations. Target 1034 can be eliminated in 0.83 seconds. Target 2120 suggests slow kill for psychological impact. These weren't just attacks. They were messages. And the messages were working. On Earth, the public still grieved. But they were not weak. Families wrote letters to soldiers. Children drew pictures of brave astronauts standing over evil alien ships. One girl held a sign during a peace march. It said, "We are kind, but we are not soft." The video went viral. Even some alien species shared it, warning their leaders. Not to push Earth any further, Agent Noor, Earth's spy in the Zarel command, sent a report. They are scared. Not of war, but of silence. They don't know when it will hit. Or where. This fear. It's growing. General Arya replied, "Good. Let it grow." Then she whispered to herself, "Let them feel the pressure. Let them beg for war. Because when we come, ... it won't be war. It will be extinction." The Red Line Protocol was now active. Not a battle, not a fight, but a promise. A quiet shadow that would cover the stars. One enemy at a time. One scream at a time. Until the universe understood ... never cross humanity's red line. Far away in a cold and forgotten part of the galaxy, a small science outpost picked up something strange, a human signal, very old, buried deep in cosmic static. The scientists stared at it in silence. It wasn't a war call. It wasn't a threat. It was a lullaby, a soft earth melody sung by a child, the same song the moon colony had played in its final hour. Suddenly, all their screens turned black. One sentence blinked in red. "We have not finished yet." And just like that, silence returned. But now, it felt like the quiet before something bigger, something worse. Main story: it had been 6 months since. Earth stopped striking. The Zeral Empire was destroyed. Their fleets gone. Their leaders vanished. Their systems dark and abandoned. The galaxy tried to breathe again. But it didn't feel safe. It didn't feel calm. It felt too quiet, because Earth had disappeared into the shadows. They spoke to no one. They answered no hails. They simply watched inside. Galactic Union Command. Diplomats from across the stars sat nervously. What does Earth want now? They got justice, didn't they? Then why does their fleet remain hidden? Some believed Earth was rebuilding. Others feared something worse, that Earth was preparing for the next betrayal back on Earth. General Arya stood before a new command screen. The map no longer showed, just red lines of justice. It showed something new: potential threats. AI warnings blinked across sectors. Civilian ships that watched too closely. Alien colonies stockpiling weapons. Old alliances forming again behind closed doors. "They are afraid of us," a young officer said. Arya replied softly, "They should be, but we must be ready." Fear turns into another attack. Earth wasn't planning more revenge. Earth was preparing for prevention in deep space. Earth's new warships floated silently, sleek, upgraded, and cloaked. No flags, no names, just one glowing symbol on their hulls, a red line, drawn across the stars. These weren't ships of war anymore. They were ships of warning. Meanwhile, small colonies across the galaxy started acting strange. One mining planet stopped sending signals, another refused to allow human diplomats to land, and then an old Zeral lab reactivated under a new name. Earth noticed everything, because Earth's eyes were everywhere. Newings, in satellites and whispers. Agent Noor, now a full Earth intelligence commander, uncovered something dangerous. There's a secret alliance forming, quiet, hidden, alien species afraid of Earth, planning to stop us before we strike again. She looked at the files. Old enemy tech, new experimental weapons, and one disturbing phrase used in a private message: "We must cross the line before Earth draws another." General Arya saw it and gave a single command: shadow mode, activate. All silent fleets. Earth wouldn't wait to be hit again. On a distant planet, one of the rebel leaders stood in the dark with his advisors. "We must move fast. Hit hard. Earth won't expect it." Then he turned and saw a human soldier standing silently behind. One shot, one word left behind. "We expected everything." In the next days, secret rebel bases started disappearing. Explosions in the vacuum of space disrupted. Teleport gates. Entire fleets gone before they could launch, and still, Earth said nothing. No declaration. No warning. Only quiet actions. Back in the Union, fear grew again. But this time, it wasn't Earth's revenge that scared them. It was Earth's discipline. Earth turned its pain into preparation, and that made them more powerful than ever. A respected alien historian finally spoke on the Union broadcast. "We all mocked Earth once, called them emotional, primitive, slow to act. But they did something we never expected. They survived and remembered, and now the galaxy will never forget them. On Earth's moon, the monument to the fallen glowed softly in the night. People visited in silence. Children left flowers. Soldiers stood in armor. Civilians lit candles. Each visitor looked at the writing carved in stone. Peace is a choice. But cross the red line, and Earth remembers. As stars shined cold above, the galaxy realized something terrifying. Earth had become the guardian of its own pain, not just to punish, but to prevent. The Great Galactic Council met in silence. All species were present, told enemies. Proud rulers, ancient powers, but none spoke. At the center of the hall stood one object, a single, burned Earth coin, taken from the ashes of the moon colony, and above it, a hologram played quietly, children laughing, then screaming, then nothing. Then the room's doors opened, and the humans entered, not with weapons, not with threats, but with silence, the kind that makes stars shiver. Main story. It had been nearly a year since the moonstrike. The Zeral Empire was gone. The galaxy was still shaken from the quiet fury of Earth's response. Every hidden war criminal hunted. Every secret plot ended before it began. Earth never started another war, but they never allowed one to start again now. The Union begged for peace not because Earth demanded it, but because the entire galaxy feared what Earth might do next. No. One wanted to test Earth again. At the Galactic Council, the oldest speaker of the Tyrone stood first. We once laughed at Earth. We saw their kindness as weakness. We were wrong. He turned to the human delegation. You lost your moon and showed us the cost of crossing your line. One by one, the species spoke, even the proudest ones, even those who once mocked Earth's silence. They all said the same thing. We are sorry. We will not forget. We choose peace. General Arya, Earth's voice in the hall, stood still. She looked over the leaders. She saw fear, yes, but also understanding. We never wanted this war, she said simply. We asked for justice. We gave you chances. You answered with fire. She walked to the center and placed one object beside the coin. A single flower, grown from the first plant to regrow on the moon. This is not a threat. This is a memory. Keep crossing red lines, and the flower becomes ash again. Then she stepped back. The council voted dash unanimously. Earth would now hold a permanent seat at the highest level. Not as a ruler, not as a conqueror, but as a guardian of peace, of memory, red lines that must never be crossed again. Across the stars, Earth's symbol, glowing red line, was painted on warships, embassies, and space stations. Not as a flag of fear, but as a reminder. This line is not for Earth. It is for you. Stay behind it. Or fade like the ones who didn't. In schools across planets, young aliens learned new history. They no longer laughed at Earth. They respected it. They feared it. But most of all, they listened. Because Earth had taught the galaxy something it never understood before. Human wrath is not loud. It is patient. It is surgical. And when it comes, nothing stands in its way. On the moon, where craters still held ashes of the lost, a massive city now rose. It was named Hope's Edge, built not just by humans, but by many alien hands who had once been enemies. Together, they raised a new monument higher than the rest. A line of light ran through its center, its glowing red at night. The words beneath it, the line was crossed. We answered, now we protect the stars. Together. 1 year later, a young alien cadet stood on his first Earthship. Nervous. Excited. He looked at the symbol on the hull. The red line. He asked the human captain, why do humans keep that symbol, even now? The captain smiled. 'Cause we don't forget. The cadet paused. You think anyone will try to cross it again? The captain's smile faded. Maybe, but if they do, the stars will burn before we break. And so it ended. The war. The silence. The wrath. But something greater remained. The universe had learned Earth's truth. Kindness is real. Forgiveness is possible. But behind every soft voice and open hand, ... is a fire that never dies, because they crossed humanity's red line, and the universe will forever feel our wrath.